Hi. Hi, my name is Christopher Roney, and I decided to do a lesson for grade 5 ELA. The lesson title is As Long as the Grass Grows. And then my outcome is CC 5.1, compose and create a range of visual, multimedia, oral, and written texts that explore identity, community, and social responsibilities. And then indicator B and C. And then so my main idea for is for the student to start to develop the ability to inquire and find the answers to a topic discussed in ELA and important to identity, community, and social responsibility. I want the students to be able to find a resource and use it to find the main point or idea to answer the questions in their own words, using proper grammar, punctuation, and sentence structure. This lesson is just the start to a multitude of lessons based on the inquiry of ELA tied with Treaty Ed. Um, and then so my understandings, just a few of them are like in the I can statements that students will be able to. I can research topic and a question. I can understand what as long as the sun shines and the grass grows and the river flows means to me, which is my main prompt. And then I can rewrite my own words using proper syntax, proper punctuation, and grammar. My essential questions: how can I find the main idea within a resource? How can I rewrite it into my own words? What does the as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows mean to me? What it was everything upheld in the treaties. How can I use inquiry to explore a topic? And then instructional strategies, it's mainly inquiry based. I like inquiry, and I feel like that it's teaching the students to become lifelong learners, and with guiding prompting questions to grow their inquiry. And then my assessment is formative, and my overview of the lesson. So I have my set, the hook. It's a total of 5 minutes. So on the board, I'd have the quote, as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the river flows, and have the students read it and recite it together. As I'd ask the students if anyone has heard the quote. If yes, then find out how, what they know about it, if they've heard, like where they heard it from. Have the students have their laptops or computer labs if needed for the inquiry resource. And then I'd have they can work with a partner. I'd split them up, or they could choose their own partners depending on, obviously, if there is a student who either needs more help or that they'd be distracted by others. And then so I'd have the prompting questions on the board to start off their inquiry. What does the saying mean? Who is it meant for? What does it have to do with treaties? Where is it said, and why is it so important? And also, what is a treaty person? And then that would lead into my development, which is the search, which is the main part of the inquiry. So I have it as 45 minutes, which is ideal. I'd like to get it done in in one class, but grade 5, it's ideal, but it's not realistic. I believe that it would take probably 2 classes to do. So I'd have the students create a multimedia format, ideally like Google Slides, I think would be the best for them, but they as long as they can share it with the teacher, it works. So I'd have them share it with the teacher, and then they'll be led by the inquiry questions and have to find resources other than Wikipedia. They know that Wikipedia is not a reliable source. So they know, like, I'd introduce them to .edu and .gov would be the best choice because they are only grade 5. Like, I'm not expecting a scholarly article that they're going to write, but working towards that direction. The students are not to copy and paste the answer from the source, but find the main idea and use it into their own words. They're to answer each question with their own words using proper grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, and complete sentences. I'd like 2 to 4. I'm not expecting a essay. Just answer to the question. The students will be guided by the teacher's inquiry questions, and then like the teacher myself or the cooperating teacher would be monitoring so that students stay engaged and focus on the task and would not be distracted and off topic. It is an inquiry-based learning experience, so that's like what we're working towards, is to more inquiry-based learning. It's more of an introduction, and then so the most important part is the teacher will be able to see that they understand the question, what is being asked, and comprehend the topic that's been given to them. And that's why I want them to do it in their own words, because if they copy and paste, you won't be able to tell if they fully understand it. They just know how to copy and paste. And then I'd conclude with a exit slip. I'd conclude with the students would have shared the multimedia with the teacher and myself at the start of class so that you can check progress if needed. The students will put away the computers at the end or clean up the lab if we're in the lab. And finally, the students will be given an exit slip to answer and think about for the next class. They will be asked, what does a saying mean to you personally, and how does it affect you? To recap, as long as the sun shines, the grass grows and the water flows. What does that saying mean to you after all their inquiry, search, and their understanding now? And then they'd come back and they'd hand it to the teacher when they're done. Yeah, and then so I have some possible adaptations. The teacher could assign the partners if needed. For students who not be able to answer all of the questions, they could just focus on the main one. What does the saying mean, and why is it important? And then for students who may be new to Canada, they can maybe change the thing to what is a treaty. They can start learning about that, inquire about that. And then my next steps, this is just the beginning to inquiry process. The students will be heading to deepening their understanding in First Nations perspective, and will be looking at more literature and perspective later on. Students will be able to use what they have learned and start looking towards taking action and coming up with ways to uphold the promises made in the treaties that they have researched that have been broken or forgotten. Students will be able to use their skills to finding main ideas and shape them into using their own words. And they will be able to have a report or presentation at the end of the unit and be able to revert to their own words and revert to their own work that they did in the class. I want the students to be comfortable with the independence that's given to them and be able to ask for help when they need it. Next, to continue working on becoming critical thinkers throughout the following lessons. Grade 5 seems to have a lot to do with Indigenous perspective in literature, and I feel like this is a good start to inquiry, like what does it mean to you, and what is a treaty person? I feel like is a good starting point. And I feel like it could be a good start to a treaty ed portfolio that they could be doing through ELA and contributing to. I'm not expecting a full-blown report or like high school essay. They're grade 5s. I'm expecting like 2 to 3 sentences per answer. And yeah, that's my next steps. Thank you. And yeah, that should be everything for my lesson. Thank you.